And we're back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and today I'm being joined by Mr. Mark Hubbard. Am I correct in that?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Mark, could you take a moment and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Mark Hubbard. I live in South Texas. I'm a rancher. I'm a ranch broker, so I sell ranches for a living. I also have a podcast called the Texas Campfire Podcast. It's kind of a new thing. I just started up about a month ago. Kind of like you, I figured out that I have some special knowledge and access to some really cool things that a lot of people don't have access to, and I decided to share those things and bring them to the people that may not be so lucky. So it's fun to be here sharing with you, especially since we're different backgrounds. It's always fun to share different things.
Listen, my biggest thing is, I've been lucky enough that I built a career out of chasing fish for the last 34 years, but I'm an outdoorsman. I like to be outside. I like to be outdoors. When I'm not fishing, I'm hunting. When I'm not hunting, I'm fishing. Or I'm talking about one or the other. And when I saw your podcast, I'm like, oh, this is perfect because we're getting ready. They're in the middle of the summer fishing, but they're keeping one
Yeah,
eye on hunting season. And
always. Yeah.
I wanted to reach out and introduce myself and have a conversation. But at the same time, I figured if we have a conversation, let's have a conversation on the podcast, and you can tell people about what you do and what you're trying to do with your podcast. And that way, anybody that listens to me globally that wants to know, I know a lot of my fishing friends, they always have at least 1 week booked out in Texas. So I
Not
wanted to give you
uncommon.
that opportunity and just share some stories. That's all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm honored. We've never met. I've known your name forever and followed your work and kind of know what tournaments you're involved in. And it's fascinating what you do. And you're right. I mean, you're just a lucky man. You figured out how to do what we're doing today and make a living. You can't be any more blessed than that. I'm the same way. My angle's a little bit different. I grew up in a ranching family. I'm an avid hunter. And I figured out a way to stay close to that stuff and make a living because I'll tell you a funny story. Out of college, I had one job where I wore a tie and a coat every day. And we had to be there from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, come hell or high water with that damn tie around my neck.
Oof.
And I sat around there one day after 2 years and said, this just ain't for me, and I'm never coming back. And I haven't. I've always been able to scratch out a living hanging out at the ranch and doing things that I love. So it just can't get any better, you know.
It's funny you mentioned I have no problems working 20 hours in a day. If something needs to be done, I have no problem doing it. But
Right.
to sit around for 8 hours, that's just not my cup of tea, man. That's not
Yeah,
my cup of tea.
it's funny going back to the guys that I worked for at that time. They're friends of mine. They still are. Um, but it was funny because you were expected to be there from 8 to 5, and I might knock out my work and be done at 3 o'clock. And they would sit around and watch the clock until 5, and I'm like, I'm out of here. No, no,
Yeah.
no, you got to be here, man. It's not 5 o'clock yet. Like, whoa, I'm done with my work here. So I'm with you. Anybody who's done anything in the outdoors knows there's a heck of a lot of work, hard work that goes into it. And I don't mind, like you said, 18, 20 hour day. I've done them, a lot of them, and I've been happy doing them, but not in an office.
No, not staring at a clock. No. I like to get
That's right.
I like to get my work done or keep adding more. My girlfriend always laughs at me. Oh, I just had a conversation with somebody. We're going to start a new. Don't even finish that sentence. I know what you're going to say. It's a new project. I just want to check it out. I want to test the waters here. I
Right, right.
love projects, man.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
absolutely love projects. So, and I like managing them. That's another thing I really enjoy. You know, there's something to be said while you're waiting for something. I could be doing something else, you know,
that's right.
as opposed to when you're just looking at the clock. Well, I'm going to wait here because it doesn't matter. I got to stay here no matter what. No, I want to get as much shit done as possible. If I can get three projects, I've got a video uploading in the background right now as we're talking. So there's
Mhm.
always something to be done. So
That's what it takes. You bet.
and one thing, ranches are very similar to boats. There's always something to be done, man.
Always. It never goes away. You know, Fly, did you happen to know that I'm a fisherman, or did you not? Do you not know that?
What? Say it again?
I said, did you happen to know that I'm also an offshore fisherman, or was
No,
it
I had
is
no
this just
clue.
fake?
I had no clue.
Dude, I am telling you, I did not grow up in a fishing family.
Okay.
And when I was 13 or 14 years old, my dad took me on a party boat out of Port Aransas, Texas. You know, the old choke and puke charter boat with 100
Yeah.
people on it. And I caught a kingfish and I threw that thing up on the deck and it started slapping around like they do. And I said, I got to have some more of this, man. This is so cool. And it never came, I never had the opportunity. Like I say, my family was into ranching and things like that. And I just, that door just was never opened up to me until I was in my 20s. I had a friend that had a 27-foot Grady White out of Port Aransas, and we
Okay.
started fishing together. And we were horrible. I mean, we were absolutely, we never caught any damn fish, but by God, we were out there, you know, doing what everybody else was doing. And I fell in love with it. And I've had, since I was 30, I've owned offshore boats, started with small center consoles, worked my way up to a 55 Viking, and then I'm back down at a yellowfin now, because I just have too many other interests to deal with a big boat. But it's the fishing has been a major part of my family, the development of my family. I know you and I talked on the side that you have a lot of young people in your demographic, and I'm I'm just so happy to be talking to you today, knowing that, because I'm big on raising young people and showing them opportunities and teaching them things that all include work ethic, that all include an appreciation for the outdoors and what God left us to take care of. And that's
100%.
what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And I don't know where how different my family would be if it weren't for fishing. And I know you thought we were going to be talking all about ranching and hunting here,
Listen,
but here we are back
I
on
didn't know
fishing.
what we were going to talk about. I just knew you're an outdoor cat, man. I'm good with it, man. I wanted to talk. That's my biggest
It's
thing because of the platform. It's not, I feel very comfortable reaching out to somebody. Hey, man, I'd like to invite you on the podcast to have a conversation. And some people answer me back, some people don't. And it,
yeah,
it, it opens
yeah.
up my world. And being that I have such a global platform, like I have a guy that's sitting in the Middle East right now, Oman. Every time a new one drops, I get a text message from him. Hey man, that was a great one. So I'm enjoying that people are listening. And then I told you yesterday that I had a friend of mine text me, "Hey man, your demographic numbers are off. I got a 10 and a 13-year-old. They're watching you." And I'm like, "Whoa, I can't keep track of that." And you're 100% correct. The work ethic. Um, Today's society, and listen, I'm not trying, we got so much cool technology. I'm not going to knock any of it. We just have to learn how
Mhm.
to use it properly. And that 30-year-old group that was kind of raised on the beginnings of social media, I just want to be like them, insta famous. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. I'm only showing you a picture of when I was here at the very top. I didn't show you when I was scratching the bottoms of boats. I didn't show you a picture of me sleeping at the airport. It takes a lot to
Mhm.
get there. So once I realized these demographics are coming in, I'm like, you know what? Let's not just highlight what we're doing. Let's talk about how we got there. There's a lot of fucking hard work that goes into it. And I
Boy, isn't that the
really,
truth?
really want to highlight. Uh, and here's the thing, if you put some hard work into it, if you just put in a little bit of hard work, you're going to pass more than 50% of everybody else.
Yeah, that's the biggest advantage you have is work ethic. You don't have to be a
Exactly.
genius. You just got to outwork them. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be consistent. Consistency
Well,
pays.
that's exactly right. I'll tell you, my greatest memories offshore, and I've had some big moments out there, but my best moments were when my kids were. I guess my oldest was probably 12 or 13, and my youngest was 7.
Okay.
I, along with a friend, we bought an old 45 hat, ugliest damn boat ever manufactured. She did 18 knots going out, 18 knots coming in. 18 knots was all she knew. And I mean, those old smoking Detroits, we left a trail everywhere we went.
Oof.
And we had the slowest boat in the fleet, and not a lot of range. So we had to fish smart. So we always had the boat loaded. I mean, I know this is common in modern day boats, but back then it wasn't that common. We always had extra groceries because we stayed the night. We were just so damn slow. There was no point running back in 5 hours to wake up in the morning and go back out 5 hours.
Yeah, you might as well just stay
So
out there.
that's right. And we did that as a family, and we fished tournaments, and we were successful. Um, we wouldn't be successful by today's standards because of the professional teams and whatnot that are in these tournaments now. But back then, it was kind of friends and family kind of a sport,
Yeah.
actually. And we were successful. And I have so many amazing memories. One in particular, we went out one morning with my wife and my 2 boys. So I got a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, and my wife. Wake up pre-dawn, put the baits out, and we're trolling along. And my wife's still sleeping. Boys are in the cockpit. I'm on the bridge running the boat. We had a pack of wahoo attack everything we had in the water, and everything went off and went crazy. And I ran down the ladder and started banging on the salon door for my wife to come out. She comes out rubbing her eyes. She's in a pair of red silk pajamas. She goes skinning up the ladder and takes the helm. And I'm back here with the boys clearing lines, and we had 3 on. I cleared the lines. Then somehow we caught all the fish, got them in the boat. And I have a picture of me with my boys on either side of me, all holding wahoo. And my wife in the background is on the bridge in her red silk pajamas at the helm.
Oh my God,
And
that's awesome.
I wish I had thought to have that photo to show you today. I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you or something. But that's just the kind of shit we did, you know. And my boys, they learned to wash the boat and take care of the tackle and rig the baits and do everything they had to do. And when you get back to the dock, that's when the hard part starts. You got to put it all away, clean it up, service everything, get it ready for the next trip. And my
Exactly.
guys were doing that when they were little bitty.
How
And
old are your boys now?
I have a 34-year-old and a 29-year-old.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
if we weren't at the ranch, we were on a boat somewhere doing something. We traveled all over the place, fishing different venues. And you'd be happy to know, you may not know him by name, but my oldest son, his name's Corbin Plumley. He has a different last name, but he's been my son since he was 3 years old. He fell in love with it. That both of them did, but my older one really, really loved it. And he didn't like school because he didn't like school. He wasn't very good at it. But I learned when he was 12 or 13, he could take apart a TV and put it back together and make it work. And I thought, man, he's gifted.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to dig in and do something, and he can do anything. Well, today he's a boat captain. a whole lot of stories in between then and now, but he's a boat captain. He runs a 61 Viking out of Port Aransas, Texas. Fishes all the tournaments, fishes your tournaments. He was at Emerald Coast this past weekend. And it makes me happy to know that all that stuff, not only were we building memories, but he found what he loves and what he's good at. And uh, he's been on team that won Poco Bueno here in Texas. He's won Little Bisbee's. I think he's won a couple of legs down at the Triple Crown in Costa Rica. He fishes all out your direction. And that just came from a kid just growing up with a family that, I scratched up every last dollar I had to put diesel in that damn boat. And I have no regrets about it. And I can't think of any better way to raise a family than in the outdoors.
It's there's we have this conversation a lot on the podcast because of the fact that I not only do I spend a lot of time, but I spend a lot of money in conservation. And I'm a firm believer if you get somebody to fall in love with the resource first, you'll get them to conserve it for the future. But you got to get them to fall in love with it. And now some people go backwards, they want to do, and to each his own. But I'm a firm believer if you get somebody to fall in love with this, the conservation will just fall into place.
Absolutely. That's right.
So you described that. You got him to fall in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing. Once you fall in love with it, you want to see it for the next generation, whether it's being on a ranch, whether it's raising deer, whether it's releasing a billfish, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see that for the future generation.
They want their kids to have the same opportunities they had.
Exactly.
They're no different than I was, And by teaching them that appreciation, you build value in that resource. And once you've built that value in their minds, they're going to do everything they can to preserve it. And it's funny because a lot of people talk about hunters and fishermen. Oh, y'all just go kill stuff. Man, I'm telling you, without us, where would the resource be? It wouldn't be the same.
No, the people that badmouth us, like what you just said, they do not put. Mm-hmm. They just complain. They do not put any money into conserving the resource. They complain about you. The money that they spend mm-hmm. is to attack us, as opposed to putting the money into scientific research, into buying extra land, into managing the land. Mm-hmm. No, so you're absolutely correct. And I take it from somebody that gets attacked from those groups a lot. Oh, you're just a killer. I know you're just using the word harvest. You're killing the animal. I'm like, listen, I'm going to eat that animal. And for me to take an animal's life, I'm harvesting it. I don't go around killing everything. I'm going to kill something that mm-hmm. I can eat. And it's a harvest. And that's how I look at it. And then I make sure that everything gets eaten, everything gets used, the animal gets respected. It starts with us. It truly, truly does.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you something else about it. It makes better human beings out of them. I was listening to one of your reels just here in the last day or two, and you were talking about allowing children to do dangerous things safely.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you added the word safely in there. But funny story, growing up, there was myself and my wife, and there was 3 other couples that we were all very, very, very close. We did everything together, vacations, everything. Our kids were all born about the same time. They're all still best friends. And back when the kids were little, my title was Dangerous Dad, because I allowed my kids to do things that they absolutely could not fathom. They just like, Mark, how can you let your kid do that? I said, It's the only way for them to learn.
Yeah.
I would tell them once, you're going to smash your thumb if you keep swinging the hammer that way. And they'd say, no, I'm not. And I'd say,
Okay.
swing away. And they'd smash their thumb and they'd get a hell of a lot smarter. If you don't ever let them swing the hammer, how are they going to learn that lesson?
Exactly.
It's just not out there. And I did that with my kids. I let them take boats out when they were teenagers. They were going offshore, snapper fishing, king fishing, doing stuff like that. I made sure they had the proper safety equipment. I made sure they had the knowledge. I checked the weather. I knew everything was good, but I didn't always tell them that. I wanted them to think that they were, taking care of themselves, that they were, learning to be responsible. And I'm telling you, today, those kids, I'll let them do anything in the world because I know that they've got a good head on their shoulders, and only because of the things that we did in the outdoors. And I know I keep circling back to the outdoors, but
No,
man,
but
that's
that's
where it
where
all
it
comes
comes
from.
from.
You
100%.
can't learn those things on an iPad. It just doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Listen, you're not going to catch fish tied up to the dock. Go out there,
That's right.
learn, go do it, enjoy it, see it. I tell people all,
Yeah.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm going to throw somebody under the bus. I'm not going to mention
All
any
right.
names,
Good.
but somebody said
Right.
something to me the other day. I've seen thousands of hours of videos on how to do it. And I'm like, really? How many times have you done it? That was the only question I
Yeah.
asked. How many times have you done it? Once you do it, it's a totally different thing. Go out there, mess
100%.
up, fall down, skin your knee, fuck it up, break
Right.
the line. That's I don't do it as much now, but when I was still working on boats and people are like, man, I'm worried about getting it all tangled up. I go, trust me, there's nothing you can do that I can't undo. So just do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't be
that's
afraid.
exactly right.
Don't be afraid of messing up. We can fix it. Just do it. Learn how far to
Just
press that button.
right, right. And as a father, it's also self-confidence. They learn
Ooh.
self-confidence. I can drive the boat, I can drive the tractor, I can do all these things. My dad lets me go spend the night offshore. I must be okay.
Yeah.
And self-confidence goes a long way in this world. It's just incredible.
It's it's there's one thing I've learned since I've transitioned from working on boats to running my businesses. The same risk that I used to take on boats, I've now applied it into business. There's a lot of risk you take. There's a lot. And there's a lot of times that you need that self-confidence.
Yep.
I've really learned the true meaning of faith. When you jump and you're like, man, I sure hope everything's in the right place because I need this parachute to open. And but a lot of that comes from self-confidence and believing in the things that you're doing,
Mhm.
that you've done it right enough times. I'm gonna now take it over here and do this. And
Mhm.
everything else is the same. The only thing I'm doing is changing maybe location, or I'm changing the boat, or I'm changing. The process is still the same. I learned how to
Right.
do all this stuff, and yeah, you need that self-confidence, and nothing can replace, especially a father saying, "Okay, go do it." You know,
Yep.
go do it, and then you come back and you did it right, or maybe you did something wrong, and your old man says, "Well, nothing you can mess up that I can't unmess up. So let's fix this together." You
I used to
know?
drive them crazy though. At some age, I quit asking them to change out top shots or check main lines, or I quit checking their knots and checking their hooks and whatnot. And we'd go out there, drove them nuts, man. We'd go out there and hook up to a good blue marlin or something. It'd be out there doing its thing, and I'd say, "Hope that knot of yours holds up." Oh, Dad, my knot's good. Like, okay, well, we're gonna see. Oh, it used to make them crazy.
Oh, listen,
Put a little pressure on them, right? Pressure's good.
pressure's really good. Pressure. I'm like,
Yeah.
it makes you double think. Why didn't I check that knot beforehand? Why
Yep.
isn't my first thing every day as I put that rod in the rod holder, check all my connections, everything's good. Okay, we're good today. Uh, it should just be part of your checklist. Listen, if you were a pilot, which I'm not, they have a checklist and there's a reason for it. You should have that same checklist when, hey, how are all these things? Are my hooks sharp? Are my connections good? Is the snap swivel closed? I've learned that one the hard way.
Yep. Oh, haven't we all? Yeah, you hadn't
Oh,
fished if you hadn't learned that one.
oh,
Well, we
it's
mostly down
amazing.
here in the Gulf, we mostly dredge fish. And I can't think of any sport that's more work than damn dredge fishing. You know what I
Oh,
mean? It's just the preparation is brutal. The fishing part is brutal, just
it's
fishing
hard
the way
work.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And if a kid can run a cockpit on a sport fishing boat, I challenge you, he can do anything.
It's amazing. I'm watching a lot of really good young kids uh i- in the industry, at least the ones I've come across, and I've said it before where one of the things now that I'm more running business, I don't get the chance to spend the time on the dock to know them all. But the handful of
Mhm.
kids that I've met, they're 25, 26, they're running a cockpit and you're watching professionalism, you're watching their detail, their attention to detail, all of this other stuff. Listen, there's still hope for them. There's still hope for them. I
Always.
had this conversation with my girlfriend a couple of times. She's a equine vet, and she says, the kids nowadays, they just don't have the work ethic. They don't have this. It's like, this is where I'm going to stop you. When they were talking bad about us, our age, you were busy in medical school. I was busy fishing.
Right.
I watched everybody complain about the ones that weren't working. But all of us that
Mhm.
were working, we're working our asses off. We're too busy to be out there for people to see us. But it took 20 or 30
Right.
years for it to finally show up. And it's like, oh, okay. So there's a little bit of hope, but there's a lot of them that need some help. And uh, again, I feel that God's given us an opportunity that you and I can go on to our podcast and talk about the different things that go into being successful, whether it's successful on a hunt or successful in business. We have the opportunity to talk to so many people. I mean, think about growing up. You had to literally walk down the dock and talk to every boat captain. Now, with the press of a
Mhm.
button, you could talk to them all.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. So, again, I get a lot of guys that, I'm 53 years old. So, oh, Fly, I don't know how you know all this technology. And it's like, hey, man, if you can run an Omni sonar, you can do what I'm doing. What I'm doing is not that fucking hard. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just,
Repetition.
yeah, there's some learning curves. And luckily, especially because of what I've learned in the outdoor industry, you offer help and help comes back to you. And sometimes you offer a little bit on one end and somebody from somewhere else, or they know somebody that offers you, hey man, this thing you're using, you can get 20% more reach if you use this. And it's like, oh, let me look into it. So yeah,
Right.
it comes and goes. So yeah, and I'm not afraid to pick up the phone and say, hey man, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Help me, please.
Right. Right. Well, to me, and obviously you've done a million times more than I have, but that's what I always enjoyed about traveling sport fishing is that things are done so differently from place to place to place.
Oh yeah.
You know, when I first got into the sport, we were at Port Aransas, Texas, and we kind of transitioned into, deep fishing, circle hook fishing, whatnot. And 100 miles down the coast at South Padre Island, they're straight up lure fishermen, man. That's all they're doing is pulling, five
Wow.
doorknobs, and just getting with it. And, we're 100 miles apart. And it's interesting. You go to Mexico, Central America, East Coast, Bahamas, anywhere you want to go, there's different little techniques, different little things to learn. And you're never finished learning in anything in life,
No.
but especially in this sport fishing game.
Now, you say you're from Port Aransas. Did you know, knew he's still alive that I know of, Hefner Appling?
Oh, I know him very well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
As
D
a matter of
Wallace?
fact, I know Captain D real well.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's still over in Port A complaining about something today
I,
for sure.
listen, I talk to him every year. He's a way station for the World Cup and the Golf Cup for me. So I talk to him
Yeah.
every year. But Hefner was the first one to allow me to have a way station when he still owned the marina.
Oh, when he had the old wharf back in the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hefner's a really good dude.
He's
And
fucking phenomenal.
he's awesome. And we're talking about how parallel we are with this ranching and fishing thing. Hefner owns a ranch that's 20 miles from my family's ranch, and he's a white-tailed deer nut just like I am.
Is he?
And so he and I we're together at the dock, and then we're together at the ranch, comparing notes, talking about different ways to do things.
It's the same thing. It's the
Right.
same thing. I mean, I try to explain to people, I go, fishing is hunting. You're just hunting on the water.
It's the same addiction.
Oh, I'm going to try to outsmart you. And all they're trying to do is eat, sleep, and make babies. That's it. And I'm
That's
trying to
right.
outsmart you, man.
That's right. It's there's nothing better.
So
Really
tell me,
is.
when you were growing up, what was you said your family had a ranch. What was your introduction? Tell me your first time hunting, your first time sitting, watching a deer. Tell me about it.
Well, my grandfather was a cattle rancher.
Uh-huh.
And back then when I was a little boy, hunting really wasn't, I mean, yeah, hunting's been a deal forever, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what it is today. It was different. It was mostly meat hunting. Wasn't a lot of trophy hunting going on back in those days. My grandfather wasn't really a hunter per se. A deer was just a way to get some back straps to him. So we didn't have deer blinds. We didn't have feeders. We didn't feed corn. We didn't have protein feeders. There were no high fences. And I've always told the story. Grandpa would go drop us off, and we'd sit under a mesquite tree and wait for a dumb one to walk by.
Wow.
That's how we did it. And when I started hunting, it was just on the back end of the screwworm epidemic, which looks like we're going through that again now. But the screwworms had wiped out so many deer in the state of Texas, in the southern United States, and we didn't see a lot of deer. I mean, if I went to the ranch for a weekend and hunted 3 hunts, 2 of those hunts I wouldn't see a deer. And one of them I might see one, and I probably killed the damn thing because it was the only thing I was going to see. There just wasn't that much game back then, But it was a good way to grow up. As like we've been talking, I learned patience, I learned perseverance, I learned how to wait. I can go soak live baits at the deep rigs and not get a bite for a day and a half, and I don't lose my enthusiasm. I keep fishing, and I learned that hunting deer in South Texas. So that's just how we were brought up doing it. later in life, I've traveled around and done all different kinds of hunting, but that was my start, and I still love doing exactly what I was doing back then. It was just a great life experience.
How old were you when you shot your first deer?
I was 6 years old.
My man.
I family started us early, and there was no excuses, and great story too. I had this little bitty old short sawed off 243, and like I said, we didn't have deer blinds, so my dad and I are stalking. We're walking through the brush. I probably was kicking cactus or something stupid. You know how kids are. And my dad stops and he says, "There's a buck over there." I said, "Yeah, sure enough." And he said, "Shoot him." Well, I went over to this mesquite tree and laid the gun in the fork of the mesquite tree, and I leveled off and got all ready. And Dad tapped me on the shoulder and he said, "You're pointing the wrong way. That's not where he is." And I said, "No, Dad, I'm looking right at the deer." And he goes, "No, you're not, son." And I said, "Dad, I'm telling you, I got him in. We're having a conversation here with the deer." And he says, "Shoot." Well, I shoot. He says, "Missed him." I said, "No, I didn't. I clubbed him, Dad. I'm telling you, that deer's dead." All right. Well, we walk over there and we find a blood trail. Long story short, it was a little bitty old 3-pointer, about like this, a yearling buck, no doubt. My dad was looking at a different deer. Of course, it was a lot bigger than the one that I killed.
Yeah, but you saw that one on your own.
I saw him on my own and I shot him and I stood my ground, and I had a amazing father. He had a tremendous amount of patience. He was an excellent teacher. And rather than fight me over shooting at the other deer, he said, "Okay, if that's what you think, then shoot." And it worked out. And that goes back to that self-confidence thing, right? I spotted him, I shot him. I had to argue with my dad a little bit, which probably isn't the greatest thing to do, but hey, it worked out that time.
Listen, our fathers are the first ones we learn how to sharpen our knives on.
Boy, isn't that the truth? I never thought about that. I'm going to remember that.
I have a friend of mine. He has 4 boys. I mean, this guy's a dear friend of mine. And his boys love to call me up and get Uncle Fly's, "Hey, what do you think?" And I'll lay it out, but I'm looking at it, and now his third son, he's got 4 of them. His third son is now starting to argue. And I'm like, "Hey man, right before they get ready to go out to the world, they have to learn how to sharpen their knives on their dads first, because you as a kid, you don't know how to argue, you don't know how to debate, you don't know how to have that proper conversation. But one thing you know is no matter what, your dad's always going to love you. So that's who you practice sharpening your knife on first. And it's hard, man. It really is. There's this kid,
Yeah.
you love him. You want to guide him to do the best things he has possible, but he has to learn on his own. And
Yep.
even sharpening that knife, he has to learn how to do it. And the person he trusts the most is his father.
And that's an amazing analogy. I have learned something from you today. And
Oh
in all
Lord.
my years as a son and a father, I've never heard it put that way, but that is awesome. Thank you
Well,
for that.
you're welcome. And here's the thing: I'm not a parent. I've never had children. I, but
Well,
I'm a great uncle. I love being Uncle Fly.
of
But
course, yeah.
I just, when there's no, I don't want to say there's no emotional attachment, because all my friends, kids, my best friend, we've been friends since we were 6. I talk to him Monday through Friday. When I call him on Saturday, it's not for him. I call to talk to his kids. They're 4 and 1. Put the kids on. I want to
Exactly.
talk to them. You
Good for
know?
you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but when you're outside looking, it's like, hey man, he's not being a hardhead. He's trying to learn how to do this thing that we do. He's trying to do this. How do you again, how do you do dangerous things safely? How do you learn how to converse with a man? How do you converse with an adult? How do you converse with
Mhm.
somebody in authority and do it properly? And no, it's a big deal, and it's tough for a parent. Girls are even worse. Girls are
I
even
don't have any
worse.
experience with that. I'll take the boys every day, and I don't even have a girl.
Yes. And I, no, listen, I'm a sucker. Anybody that, even my sister, she's grown up, she's a grown woman, and still she could ask me for anything and I'd give it to her. I wouldn't even fucking
I
blink.
Yeah, that's what would scare me about having a daughter is she would own me. Okay, I let my boys sharpen their knife on me, but I fought back a little bit too. And I think with the girl, I just don't think I'd ever fight back.
No, I know me, I wouldn't. Yeah, to an extent, but yeah. Hey, can I do this? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I
That
really want to
that
go
would be
out.
me.
Okay. No, I'm a sucker for that. I
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
that's
But no,
good.
with boys,
Well,
that's definitely listen, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious. As an outsider, as I watch it, I just giggle. I'm like, oh, and especially in the fishing and the hunting space, you're trying to come up with your own technique. You don't want to just do it like dad. You want to have your
mhm,
own technique. So you want to do it your way. Dad's like, no, we're not going to do it that way. So it's the
yeah.
perfect fertile ground to stretch out your wings, man.
Yeah, that is so true. I think the biggest fights that I've had with my two sons is in the cockpit of a boat over how the hell we're gonna, do something or other.
Yeah. Listen, I was
Yeah.
there. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
that. I
But,
remember
but
that.
I bet you love being Uncle Fly though, because you know, I can understand that part of it too. Just by default, I've taught uh, scores of young men how to hunt, got them their first deer, caught them their first billfish, bunches of them. And I'll tell you, Fly, if I have any legacy, I hope that's it. I've got a bunch of young men that I call them my boys. I text them all. We're all in touch. Some of them are 45 years old now with kids that were my mates. I gave them their first job. I had one of them. He won't mind me telling you this story, but when he was 14 years old, his father passed away tragically, and a mutual friend. Actually, it was a young man. He knows Hefner. We're all friends. Um, he was. I gave him his first mating job. His name's Matt Richter. There in Port Aransas, Texas. Well, Matt called me up one day. He's in his 30s by now, and he says, "Hey, this kid here in town, his father just died. He's 14, and you need to take him under your wing." And I said, "He's hired." So I hired him. He was worthless. I'm telling you, the kid didn't know how to do a damn thing, but he was the nicest kid. He was polite and he would do anything. And bless his heart, he had an incredible mother. Um, she trusted him with me. And deal, we would leave at 2:30 in the morning to go to the fishing grounds, and his mother would come, park by the boat, and wait till I got there and make sure everything was cool, and off we would go. And Noah fished with me. He still fishes with me on occasion. He's almost 30,
Oh,
has two
wow.
children, and we're super, super, super close. And I taught him a lot, and he taught me a lot. And I'm telling you, all those boys that I've fished with over the years and hunted with it's just like an extended family for me. So, that's Uncle Fly, right? I
Yeah,
mean, how
that's
many kids have you
100%.
give them their first job, caught them their first fish, just taught them how to tie a knot, I know there's hundreds of them,
Oh, I
and
have
and that's
one. He keeps when you talking about having kids. He just had his first kid. He's 32 now. I uh I signed his letter of recommendation, or I made a letter of recommendation for him to go to the Florida bar. He's a lawyer now, very successful lawyer. Um, I hired him to help me with some of my tournaments when he was younger. I was at his parents' wedding, for Christ's sakes. I went to school with his parents.
yep.
But I love it. I'm happy to offer that. Uh, and it's funny because I've spent this past weekend literally looking for it because not that I got questioned on it, but I was having a conversation. Um Somebody told me about a Bible verse about reaching behind you and helping those that are coming up, leveling it up. And so I spent this past weekend looking to see which verse it was. Well, there was four different verses that they don't say specifically, but they all say about once you've laid the path, you have to help those come up onto the same path with you and in some way, shape, or form. And I found four different. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I did email it to myself so I can save it there. And it's very important to me. It's very important because I know so many people that have opened the door for me, that have extended an invite to me, that have done something for me, even if it's just a hey, I have this guy coming over, at least give him an opportunity to talk. And
Right.
I feel that I should do the same. Now, depending on who they are, I had a young man, I didn't know who he got introduced to me. I didn't know him that well, but he was looking for a job. And I had one guy that had asked me three different times, I'm looking for somebody. I'm like, well, I got this kid. I can't recommend him because I don't know him, but here, I'll give him your number. And he goes, okay. And it was in between them. I opened the door for him and how they handled it, that's entirely up to him. Now, I did tell the kid, I put you in touch. I will find you and track you down if you're a shithead. That's sh show up when you're supposed to show up. Return a phone call. If you say no, it's okay to say no, but at least man up and say, listen, I've taken another job. And if you do all that, I'm cool. Don't feel like you have to take the job because I gave it to you. Just make sure
Right.
you're a man about it. That's all.
You know, good for you for putting that burden on them. That's as men, we all have to carry that kind of a burden, and I think it's important to learn that. And I'll tell you, I've done the same. I've I hate to sound like I'm beating my own drum, but I've helped a lot of ranch foremen get their job on various ranches. I'll have a client over here that just bought a ranch and they need some help, and I know a kid over here that I met somewhere, and I don't think I've ever had one let me down because I always give them the same talk. Hey, I'm I'm putting my stamp of approval on you, and if it doesn't work out, there better be a good reason for it because my name's on it too.
Exactly.
And I don't know that I can't think of one that somebody called me and said, "Why did you send that shithead over here to me?"
Really.
I haven't had one,
That's
which is good.
actually that's really good, man. Now, and just so you're aware of it, I have that same standard in the other direction as well. Like somebody calls me up and they're like, "Hey man, I'm looking for a boat to charter, or I'm looking for a
Mhm.
captain to hire, or I'm looking for something." And I'm like, "Here, call this guy. I want to go to the Azores. I want to go to Madeira. I want to go to Cape Verde." And
Mhm.
I'll give him some names. I go, "Just do me a favor, tell him that I sent you." I don't take a cut. I don't want a cut. That's not my thing. But I let everybody know, hey man, I will give your number out. At least return their call. Even if you're booked, Just say, hey, listen, I'm very sorry, but I don't have any dates available. You don't even have to give them another number. At least
Right.
return their call, because there's nothing that pisses me off worse than calling somebody two or three times and then they don't return my call.
It, it's not that hard to respond with a text. So I always used to tell
Yeah,
my boys, if you're busy and you can't type a paragraph, send me a thumbs up, okay? But just respond.
that's it. Listen,
Just respond.
I send plenty of emails or texts with either a thumbs up or received.
Me too. Yeah.
Received. After that, but I've got it. Now, it might take me a day, it might take me a week, it might take me an hour. I'll get back to
Mhm.
you, but now you're not waiting on me. And if something happens that I took too long and you've moseyed along, then that's on me. It's not on you,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
you
right.
know? But communication is so simple, but it's the hardest thing for people to do.
Well, I mean, in your world, talking about young men working on sport boats, communication, you got to get along with customers. You know, sometimes your boss has big time clients on the boat and they may be jerks and you got to kiss their ass
Yeah.
and you got to go fix the toilet when they clog it up with a tampon. Okay. It's just, I, there's nothing below you and there's nothing above you. You know, you're responsible and you take it on head first. And again, I've already said it, but show me a kid that can run a sport fishing boat, and I'll show you a kid that can do any damn thing.
Yeah. It's there's so many things that I learned working on a sport boat that I have attributed to the things that I'm doing nowadays. A lot of people are like, I don't know how you keep up with it all. And it's like, this is no different than keeping up on a sport fish boat. You have 27 different things going on at the same time. It's just different magnitude. You got you're on trip A, but you have trip B and C coming down. You have to change oil in one of these. You have an AC problem. You have to line up your paint shed appointment 6 months from now. You want to put the boat on a ship a year from now. It's no different. It's
Yeah,
just logistics. It really is. But what really helps is the communication, you know?
yeah.
Hey man, I haven't heard back from you. Are we still on for 2027? Because I only have 6 weeks to be in the paint shed. Absolutely. We're still on. Okay, cool. Hey,
Right.
I gotta turn around. Is the fuel man gonna be there? Stupid thing. People get the stupidest fucking text messages from me. Hey man, we're still on? Yeah, we're still on. Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
listen, oh, and vice versa. You did the perfect thing yesterday or whatever day it was. Hey man, can we move it a couple? Yeah, we're cool. It's communication. It's not a big issue if you just
Mhm.
communicate.
When you get in front of issues, they're not issues, right?
Yeah, it's okay. And especially the more time you have between, I gave a boss one time 6 months notice. People thought I was crazy. And I'm like, listen, if he wants to take advantage of the fact and just kick me out right now, that's on him. I
Mhm.
wanted to finish something out. He had a goal to achieve, and I said, I will stay with you until you achieve that goal. Once that goal is achieved, it's time for me to move on. I want to do something else, you know?
Right.
Uh, but it's just communication.
Well, sure. And when you do that, you don't burn a bridge. You
No.
wind up with a lifelong friend, and you never know when you're going to wind up partnering with them on something later on, or fishing with them later on, or you just don't ever know. So why burn bridges?
Oh my gosh, you have no clue. I tell everybody, people are like, man, you're dressed up nice. I go, I don't know when I'm going to run into my future boss, my future business partner, or my future ex-wife. So you might as well look good while you're doing it.
That's right.
You
That's
only get
right.
one chance to make a first impression. And I know my girlfriend's going to hear this and she'll get a chuckle out. She's already heard the story. I have the same one-liners for the last 20 years.
Yeah, you and me both.
Uh, that's what happens as you get older. You get a chuckle out of it from everybody, so you keep using them.
That's right.
Why fix it if it's not broke, man?
Right.
So um tell me a little bit about what got you into selling ranches.
Well, right out of college, I got my real estate license when I was 19 years old. That's what I always wanted to do, was sell ranches. That was my deal.
Wow.
And got my license when I was 19. I was actually still in college. Right out of college, I went to work and just didn't make it. I wasn't old enough to have credibility, experience, background, connections. It just didn't have all that stuff. And I fell back on. I went to doing appraisals. I went to work for an appraisal firm that specialized in ranches, and they needed somebody to do ranches. And I was like, well, that's a couldn't be any closer to doing my
Yeah.
dream, and that's to go out and be on ranches every day. And that I met a lot of people. I saw a lot of country, gained a lot of experience doing that. Uh, at one point in time, I switched, and there was a big property tax consulting firm that had a whole lot of agricultural properties. And I went to work for them, doing property tax consulting, just fighting market values at these local appraisal districts, and did a whole lot of that. And I just kind of floundered around in all real estate related stuff, and eventually got enough age and experience and connections to work myself back into sales, and been doing it ever since. And I'll do it until the day I die. I there's no reason, if I can drive a truck, I can do this work. And I don't know what I would do if I retired. And so it's just been a lifelong dream for me, and it's thank God it's worked out.
That's I tell Naomi all the time, when we first started dating 11 years ago, she goes, I want to retire at 55. I go, I'm going to work until the day I die. I like to work. I like to do things. I cannot sit still. It's not good for me. I
Right,
like projects, you
right.
know.
We
I
do stupid shit when we're not busy, Fly.
Oh
We
my
just do stupid
God, do
stuff.
I do stupid shit? Listen, I don't need any help looking like an idiot. I do a good enough fucking job on my own.
That's exactly right. I have mastered that.
Oh my God. I wonder if I can do this, this, and this, if this will happen. Oh, there was one time we were fishing out of Golfito, and there were so many sailfish. We You can't just not try to catch a fish that comes up. We really just wanted
Mhm.
to catch the marlins, but there were so many sailfish. We uh we had filled all our wells with live bait, and we figured, okay, we'll tease things in and then we'll try to catch them. We're not caring about catching doubles or triples. We're just trying to catch the one that comes up. Well, it got to the
Right.
point where we would throw a fly rod or we'd put a live bait on a fly rod. Well, this one time for like 2 days, we tried to see how many different clips you can connect and have the live bait at the end and throw it in the water. And oh my gosh, it was like you throw the live bait in the water and it goes long rigger, short rigger, long rigger, center rigger, water. It was just the stupidest thing we were doing. And then we started, okay, let's really start putting some mouse traps into the other anglers. Boss is like, hey, unclip the snap swivel and connect it to his, eye loop or something until the first blue marlin shows up. And he's like, okay, that's enough of that shit. Stop fucking around. Okay. But it kept us busy,
Yeah.
it kept it lighthearted. But you're right. When you're bored, you look for, oh yeah, let's let's tie a firecracker to something.
Oh, no doubt about it. A lot of that happens on the back end of that boat, doesn't
Oh,
it?
listen, a lot of that shit happens. How, I know you've played with tannerite. What are some of the stupid things you've blown up with tannerite?
Well, I haven't done too much of it, but man, I've got a buddy on a ranch right down the road from here. He's my age. He's in his 60s, and he'll be out there by himself blowing up tannerite and sending me videos.
That, and again, he's in his 60s and he's still doing it.
That's right. That's right.
That is the crazy shit. That I tell my girlfriend, I'm just a 16-year-old that doesn't shave. That's it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That's the only difference, right?
In my brain, I'm still 16 years old. Now my knees, my back, my eyes, they tell me different stories.
Don't I know that?
Ugh. So so you worked your way into selling. Now are you managing ranches as well?
Yeah. So, I I live on a ranch. My wife and I own a ranch here south of Beeville.
Okay.
We're 45 miles from Port Aransas,
Okay.
inland. My family has a ranch over near Laredo that that I've worked on my entire life, and I do an incredible amount of. I'm gonna call it consulting,
Okay.
but it's not for pay. Um, it's kind of like you said a while ago when you recommend somebody, you don't want any kind of a kickback or anything. I don't do that because I always feel like my recommendations are no good if I'm making them based on what I'm getting paid on the backside, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't owe anybody um, any favors when it comes to making recommendations.
Yeah.
I can be totally honest without feeling like somebody's going to, why didn't you recommend me? Well, because you didn't do the best job. That's why.
Yeah.
And so I spend a inordinate amount of my time helping my clients with their ranches. They call me, who do I call to get a bulldozer to go do this roller chopping over here? Or I'm having this trouble with my deer. What do I do with that? Or I got to build some new fence. Who's the best fence contractor? So I do a ton of ranch consulting, but like I said, not for pay.
Okay.
It's a passion of mine. I love the land. I love the people, everything about it. It's funny over the years, I've stayed small. I don't have a lot of agents. I've got 4 guys right now that are all extremely qualified. Um, and and they're great. But I've had some over the years that have come to work for me, and they're like, "Man, you do too much for free. You take on a client, you spend 7 days showing them ranches. They don't buy anything. They decide to buy a boat instead, and I didn't make any money." And I always tell them that's just part of it.
Yeah.
That's you wake up every morning and you go to work and you work hard and you work honest and you take care of people, and the paydays will come. If you wake up every day deciding what you're going to do based on what you're going to get paid to do it, it's going to be a long, miserable life. Okay. It just,
100%.
to me, it just doesn't work that way. And so I guess the good Lord's been, had me under his wing my entire life because I'm a wing it kind of a guy. And like I say, I do what I can to help people. And I don't remind them, but I hope that they remember me when it's time to buy a piece of real estate or sell a piece of real estate. That's when that comes back around. It's been a good model for me. Made lots and lots and lots of good friends in the business. And again, that's how I came to doing this podcast with the Texas Campfire podcast. It just I'll tell you the whole story since we got time.
Which is great because that was the next question.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in a chair just right over here across the room after I you were talking about body parts.
Yeah.
I had a shoulder that just quit working last year. I mean, I babied it for 5 years. I was picking up feed sacks with my left arm and this one hanging by my side, and I finally went, I'm 61 years old, or 60 at the time. I'm too young to lose body parts. So I had to go have a rotator cuff surgery. Fly, if you can avoid having rotator cuff surgery, you should avoid it. It sucks. And so anyway, long story short, I had the surgery. It was successful, in loose terms. And I spent about 2.5 weeks in a recliner eating painkillers and watching TV. Most painful thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done a lot of stupid, painful stuff. And of course, it was my right shoulder. That's my driving arm. That's my shifting arm. That's, you know, take away your right arm, you don't have much left when you're right-handed. And anyway, I sat in that recliner over there, and I used to be a Fox News junkie, and I got tired of watching them rotate the same news every hour for 24 hours a day. I started watching series on TV and got bored with that. And I've never been a podcast guy. It's just not a world that I've ever been very involved in, other than stumbling over a good one every now and then. But on the back end of that surgery is when I learned to go to YouTube and look at podcasts. And I sat there for days on end going, holy smokes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have to go flipping through the channels to try to find a TV show that I want to watch about fishing in the Azores, but that one's on at 7:30 on Saturday night, and I got to take the family to dinner Saturday night, so I can't watch that one. Holy smokes. I can do a search on YouTube and find a video on any damn thing that I'm interested in, and I can watch it right now. And if I have to get up and go do something, I can pause it and come back to it later on. And I know that sounds elementary to a 20-year-old, but to a 60-year-old, that was new stuff for me.
Yeah.
And honestly, I swear at 60 years old, I just wasn't aware that all of that was available. And so I know it's a long story, but when I figured that out, I was like, man, I started looking for Texas ranching and, Texas hunting stories and just doing searches. And I was like, man, there's a little bit of a void here. And it's the things that I know a lot about, from being on private ranches. And my storyline has always been with this podcast thing is Texas is 97% privately owned. There's no other state in the union that's even close to 97% privately owned. So the things that happen on ranches in Texas aren't on the radar because they're on private ranches. And unless you're family or friend or guest,
you
don't know. And I thought, man, I know a lot of really cool stuff that people just don't know. And that's when I started playing with the idea. That was last October. And I messed around and, Google this, Chat GPT that, what kind of equipment do I need? How do I make it work and whatnot? I guess I could have made it happen a whole lot faster, but I was wanting to really learn about it before I just jumped in. And long story short here, June 1st was my very first episode. I was
this past June 1st?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I must have found you days after it came out then.
You found me right away. And
wow.
It was funny because I went and looked at a bunch of, I don't want to call them competitors because they're not competitors, but I went and looked at similar podcasts. And I'm like, okay, Mark, what can you expect when you roll out an episode? And I would go to people's channels and I'd go back to their very first one, and it would be like 30 people listen to that one, or 50 people, or 70 people, or 15 people, and it builds over time. And I rolled out episode 1 was about Ben Schmidtke. He manages an 11,000 acre ranch here in South Texas called the Silverhorn. And I floated it out there going, boy, they're going to hit this one back right in my face, and I'm going to get 7 watches, and it's going to be a long, long climb. And it's been out for a little over 3 weeks now, and it's at I think 45 or 4,600 views on YouTube.
Wow.
And I couldn't be more grateful or excited because I'm not doing anything special. I'm just being myself. I'm just being straightforward and not trying to fancy it up or anything like that. And maybe I just hit a void where, something that people are interested in, and I'd rather be lucky than good, is the old saying.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, I mean, not being a techno wizard, this is luck and a little bit of godly intervention that's brought me to this point, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize it was June 1st. I came across it and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. And it's
Yeah.
hunting season. So I try to stay about 6 weeks ahead because
Mhm.
my schedule gets crazy sometimes. Sometimes I'll be on the road for 2 or 3 weeks, but I want them all to come out, and they go out two every week. And so
Mhm.
everything's scheduled out. And so these are coming out, like ours is going to come out like the end of August, which is right at the beginning of hunting season, or people are getting
Yeah.
ready to go into hunting season. So
Sure.
when I found you, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And that's when I reached out to you. And then we played a little bit of phone tag on WhatsApp. And then we finally
Right.
squared it all down. So, and my biggest
Yeah.
thing is I don't want to jump on a phone call and talk to somebody.
Mhm.
I want it to be strictly texted or emails because I don't want us to burn up a 45-minute great conversation and then try to repeat it.
Oh.
I want to save it all for this. And let's get, if we're going to do pleasantries, let's do them online. And
Mhm.
we just go to it and have great conversations and find out a little bit
Yep.
about each other. And I've met so many really, really cool people. For me, where it gets it, where I have to look at numbers because that's just
Mhm.
business. I need to know, for me, what people really like to hear. Okay, I
Mhm.
found this little niche. People really like this, and people really like that. Uh, but what I really like is like right now, everybody's calling me up for the World Cup, and
Mhm.
they come back, hey man, I'm loving your podcast. I I can't track that.
That's right.
When people, hey man, uh, would you mind interviewing somebody from this company? I'd like to learn some more about it. Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
that's what I want to know about.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I tell you what's funny about this fly, the very first, because I started filming back in April,
Okay,
just like you. I wanted to have some backlog in case I get busy or go on vacation or go on a trip. I don't want to be in a bind. So I started doing interviews back in April, and I try to do them. I've got a really cool studio set up here. I'm not in it right now, but I've got a really nice setup with professional lighting and the whole deal that I laid out. But I do a lot of elderly people. I interviewed a 95-year-old woman here in South Texas that's a friend of mine. A whole lot of people in their 80s. Like I'm really focused on a lot of old timers because they're so interesting and they have so much to share. But when those older people can't get here to my studio, obviously I go to them, usually on their ranch or in their home or whatnot. And it's funny, I get there and I've my son Colton helps me, and I've got a video guy Matt that helps me with the technical stuff on the video and editing and things like that. And I show up at somebody's ranch. They meet me at the front door. We start talking. Okay, we're going to set the cameras up over here, and Matt and Colton are working on that. And these people start spilling their guts to me. I mean, I learned this right away. I was like 30 minutes in on the first day because I'm waiting on cameras to get set up and lighting and all that. And I'm like, stop talking. Like, don't talk anymore because this is really good shit. and we'll
Yeah.
never get back to it, right? You can't reproduce
No.
the genuine upfront conversation that happens that happens spontaneously. And so I've learned, like, maybe I let Matt and Colton get there 30 minutes earlier and get stuff set up, and then I show up and
100%.
turn on the
100%.
cameras. Matt, tell me when the cameras are on, and then I'll sit down and we'll start talking.
Yeah.
And that has worked for me. But
That's the way you should do it. That's exactly the way you should do it. Like again, there's little things that I've learned. Now, for me, I wanted to do Zoom for a lot of reasons. Now, I'm sure there's going to come a time that I will go to certain people. But I've done Zoom because I have so many people from so many different places I want to bring in.
oh, you're doing so much international stuff. You have
Oh,
to Zoom.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I, I want it to be as comfortable as possible for you. So, for whoever I'm talking to. So, I don't want you to have to wake up early for me. I'll wake up early. I'll stay up late. I, you're having a conversation with me that let me make it as easy as possible for you. I've done
Sure.
it
You have to
before
do that.
where
Yeah.
I've been up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I got somebody from Australia on. They're having a rum and coke, and I'm having a cup of coffee. You know?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I want it to be as comfortable for you as
Mhm.
possible. Plus, I want to keep it full. I don't want to do it just once a month. I want to keep it going. And some weeks I might talk to five people. Some weeks I might only talk to one.
Right.
But as long as I stay ahead of it, like I know when I go giant tuna fishing, I'm going to be fishing for 6 weeks. So I need to be like at least 8 weeks ahead of time
Yeah.
because I might get lucky and I might be able to do one while I'm up there or two.
Hmm.
But if not, I want to keep it going. So, and people they're watching it. They're jumping on it. They're asking questions. I love when they ask questions. I'm so
Yes.
involved in so many fisheries. Uh, and we were talking about communication earlier. I was talking with somebody yesterday. He deals with the government issues in the Pacific Northwest, and they hired a consultant. I don't know how much money they spent on this. And they're like, how can you get people to trust the government more? And there was a couple of things he said. I'm like, I can give you my 2 cents, and you don't even need to be a consultant. How about just communicating with the people? If you're transparent and you just communicate with them, you'll build trust. Hey, we're going to do a new study on June 2nd. Okay, you do the study. It's now June 8th. We finished doing the capturing the information. This is our roughness that we got. It's going to take us 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever, to put it all together. But we should have something to you approximately this date. And if you put something out there, people will figure it out. Oh, if you keep, it goes like you said, self-confidence. If you just keep telling me stuff and it comes true, I'm going to believe in you. I'm going to trust you. It's
Right.
very simple.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
at least for me, that's one of the things I've been doing with a lot of these not fishing and hunting and whatever. I bring these people on so they can talk about what's going on.
Mhm.
It hasn't dropped yet, but I just interviewed the head of the Oregon. He's the executive director of the Oregon Hunters Association. They're trying to outlaw fishing and hunting in Oregon. And I'm like, let me give you a platform to talk about this.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
he's like, man, I really appreciate it. I listened to some of your stuff. You're kind of global. And I'm like, well, here's my thought. I'm fighting a shark problem in the North Atlantic, and you're fighting this hunting thing. We're so splintered, but all these environmentalists, they're not.
Right.
They're
Oh no, they're unified. That's a
they're
fact.
unified. Like what I said
Hmm.
earlier when we were talking, we spend our money on conservation. They spend their money on attacking us.
That's right.
You
That's right.
know?
It's it's a real problem. You know, here in Texas, we have a lot of high fences, and there's this constant battle between the high fence guys and the low fence guys, and the archery guys and the rifle guys, and you know, the croaker fishermen versus the lure fishermen in the bay. And it's like, come on, guys, we all love the hunt, whether it's
Yeah,
in the water or out in the brush. We all love the hunt. Let's just agree to do things a little bit differently. Everybody can get their jollies their own way, and we can all be a unified force against the people that want to tear us down. They want to
exactly.
change my way of life and your way of life. And here we are fighting over whether or not I can use a damn live bait or a dead bait. You know, come on, guys,
That's
we're better than
yeah.
that.
We shouldn't be fighting each other. I uh
Mhm.
I was on a fishery meeting, it's been about a year ago. I sit on ICAST or
Yep. Yep.
ICAT, and
Mhm.
somebody said something, and I'm like, who are you sticking up for? Are you sticking up for the US fishermen or the other fishermen? Because I thought this was a US delegation here. And
Mhm.
our commercial guys need all the help they can get. And what are you doing?
Right.
And 2 days after the meeting, I got a phone call from one of the commercial guys. He's like, Fly, thank you so much. We've never had a wreck guy stick up for us. I'm like, man, we're all fishermen. We all make our money off of fishing. We
Right.
shouldn't be arguing. Now, I get it. We're trying to fight for quota, but other than
Sure.
quota, why are we fighting? You're
Right.
you're trying to provide for your family. I'm trying to provide for my family. Everybody's trying to provide for their family. Let's figure it out in the right
Yeah. Yeah.
way and
Yeah.
then use our energy to fight the people that are trying to take it away from us.
That's a fact. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. And it's really frustrating. I'm like you. I've sat on different committees and different organizations and different task forces with Texas Parks and Wildlife here in the state of Texas and whatnot. And it's just so frustrating to see a room full of ranchers fighting against each other. Golly,
What
it's
are you
mind
doing?
boggling, you know. And if you can't, you were talking about communication earlier. You can fix anything with good communication, but when communication breaks down, all the solutions go out the window. It's gone.
100%.
Shouldn't
100%.
be that hard.
Just
Mm-hmm.
communicate. Really, really simple. Here
Right.
recently it just passed the House HB 3831. The fact that I can remember that is ridiculous. Uh, they're trying to ban shark fishing or shark feeding in federal waters. Well, in the state of Florida, uh, shark feeding has become a huge tourism thing where
Mhm.
these dive boats go out and they feed the sharks. And a lot of the wreck guys, they want to blame them for the shark problem we're having. And I'm like, guys, really, just so you know that that's not our problem. I get why you're upset, but that's not the problem. So I get dropped into a
Right.
lot of conversations online, and I'm like, hey guys, listen, I see why you're upset that they're going to ban this, but we're not allowed to feed bears in the wild. We're not allowed to feed, if you go to a national park and you feed bears, if you feed coyotes and wolves, we're going to get a
Mhm.
ticket. So what you're doing is completely against anything ever imaginable. You cannot let a wild animal associate a human being with food. That's just, it's
Right.
against everything we've ever done. I get it. You've
Right.
made a living off of this, but you got to know what you've built, the foundation of what you built on is a messed up foundation. Oh, blah, 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 you're just saying this, and that. And I'm like, listen, why don't you jump on my podcast and let's talk about it? Well, don't tell me
Yeah.
that fishing doesn't get the sharks to understand that boats are feeding them. I'm like, no, you're 100% correct. Us catching fish, you got to understand the reason the sharks are there is because the fish are there. not because of you. They're there
Yeah.
because the fish are there. So we want to catch the fish. You're trying to feed the sharks. So now they're associating it with boats. I'm like, no, I agree
Yeah.
with you. Us fishing contributes to it. Come on my podcast. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, that's right. Keep
Come on.
communicating.
Just talk.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead,
have very,
please.
very similar issues here in Texas. There was a big fight that broke out here a while back at Texas Parks and Wildlife. Our latest executive director is, let's just say, he's not an avid outdoorsman. He's more of a, I don't call it conservation, I call it preservation.
Okay.
They want
I call them
everything to be like it was
environmentalists,
200 years
but
ago.
preservation is 100%. Yeah.
Yes, same deal. And it's created some problems. So here lately, they came up with this idea that we're going to legislatively create the demand for mandatory reporting of mountain lion harvest. And the hunters freak out. And the antis go, why would you freak out? All you have to do, you can still kill it. You just have to report it. And the hunter, rightfully so, is going, yeah, but that's just the camel's nose under the tent, man. As soon as you do that, next it's going to be tags, and then they're going to be protected in 20 years, and nobody will ever know how the hell it happened. So those fights go on everywhere, and for good reasons.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that government trust thing that you mentioned earlier. It's like good luck with that.
Yeah, no, I listen. It's funny. This whole going back to the shark thing, we were uh they being the government and NOAA, they were trying to get us tournament directors for HMS, uh marlin and tuna tournaments report how many shark depredation incidents we're having. And when I got contacted, I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, I have no problem doing it if they make it across the board for every tournament, every head boat, every everything. How many shark interactions are happening as a whole? I'm okay with that. But if you're going to
Right.
single us out, we're only allowed 250 marlin a year. Well, at some point, if you guys start noticing that 500 marlins are dying to shark incidents, you might take away our quota. And they're like, Fly,
Right.
you can't we can't do that because of the fact that they would have to be renegotiated on ICAT and this and that. And I flat out told them, I don't trust you. You have not protected anything that is not a shark since I've been here, so I don't trust you.
Right. Sure.
So no, I see the point. Again, it's not a big deal. You want to report it? I like science. Data is great, but it's when is that data going to be used against you? Uh, and it could be in some of the craziest like even right now, uh, we're only catching 20% of our shark quota on in the Atlantic, commercially. And when you talk to the environmentalist or the preservationist, they want to come out, well, that just proves to you that shark populations are on a decline. No, you fucking idiot. You've gotten rid of the best market for sharks. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in it. You can't
Right.
say that. Oh,
Right.
the sharks are an apex predator. When the fishery stocks are good, there's going to be more apex predators. That's why we're seeing it. But
Mm-hmm.
these environmental groups, oh yeah, man, you can get me started on this. I get so fired up about it. But listen,
Yeah.
I love to have conversations with them because uh, you said it earlier. They think all we want to do is kill stuff, and we're just the opposite. We want to
Right.
manage it properly so that these animals are healthy. I don't want to see a, a problem with food source, and the next thing you know, you have 25% of a species dying because of starvation. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that,
Nope. That's exactly right.
you know?
You
And
know, we have so many places in the world today where you fish. I know that you can't hardly get a sailfish to the boat without a shark taking a chunk out of it. Okay. We're kind of, sharks don't need protection around here. Let me
Not
just say
around
that.
here. No, no, no. There are places that they do need them. I actually
Mhm.
recently found when they're looking to expand the recreational limit, the retention limit. So they wrote an article in the Independent in the UK and opened it up to if you want to comment on this, here's the link. Why are you requesting comments from people in Europe? You guys don't live in the United States.
Right.
But
Hey,
again,
that's something I've learned. This is hilarious, Fly. I'm new to the podcast thing, and I love the feedback that you get, the personal, the private messages, the text messages, giving you good or bad feedback. Either way, it doesn't matter. Uh, but somebody was replying to some of my stuff the other night, and I kind of got into, I know better, but I got into a little bit of an online war
ooh,
with this person over deer regulations in the state of Texas. Well, after a while, I went, wait, who the? I start Googling up this person. They're like from New Jersey. It's like, why am I even talking to you? You're not even in the same damn
you
hemisphere
don't
as
even
me.
live here. You don't even
But
live
there are
here.
those people. There's those trolls that's all they do is just surf around looking for people to argue with.
They want to argue. I don't argue with anybody online. I don't argue. First of all, I don't like to argue. I like to have a
No,
conversation.
waste
I
of
have no
time. Yeah.
I have no problem. I love having discussions. There's nothing better than having a good, deep conversation about a topic. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I, but even still, and I have a friend of mine, I have a few of them. I had somebody on, and I don't want to get into which podcast because each one has its own little critics. And I had a couple people call me up and yell at me about me not pushing back on somebody. And I'm like, hey, listen, just because you have my phone number doesn't mean you can call me up and criticize me. Now, I'll listen to
Right.
you because you're my
Mhm.
friend, but
Right.
my job is not to get somebody on and change their mind. I don't bring people on to change their mind. I bring people on to have a nice, good conversation. Let's find out what
Right.
we agree on, find out what we don't agree on. You give me your side, I give you my side, and
Mhm.
uh, we can discuss that for a little bit, but then we go to the next topic. I'm not trying to change your mind. That's not my
Mhm.
job. My job is, or even on here, I just want to have a conversation with somebody. I want to know why you think the way you think. Explain it to me.
Right. Right.
That's all.
We may find some common ground here as long as we're both listening. Um,
Yeah.
you
It's
you need to talk with each other and not at each other. I mean, that to me,
amen.
that's the difference.
Amen. And people are so quick to jump on the 10% we don't agree on instead of
Yeah.
focusing on the 90% that we do. And nowadays,
Yes.
because of social media, so many people want to jump on the 10% we don't agree on. It's like, no, man.
Right.
I, Me and you agree on 90% of it. Why are we focus? Let's build something on that 90. And then we'll
Yeah.
use a friendship or a relationship that we create. It doesn't even have to be a friendship. It could be just a relationship on the fact that we agree on 90%. Now let's work on that last 10. But you're more likely
Yeah.
to agree with somebody, you're more likely to work with somebody once you know that you agree on the last 90%.
Right. That's it's not that difficult, or it shouldn't be at least. You know,
No.
it's just I don't know, but that's what you get. You're in a leadership role. You touch a lot of people. You influence a lot of people. You're a worldly guy, and you've obviously volunteered to be in leadership roles through various organizations, and I praise you for that. I respect you for that. But I also know that it puts a target on your back,
Ooh.
and you're going to get some of that. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's
It's
okay.
just part of it.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny you say you read your comments. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like to see where the conversation is going, and if it's going good enough that I don't have to get in the middle of it, I let it go.
Hmm.
I don't
Oh yeah.
but sometimes it's, hey, you mentioned this, or where can I watch this whole clip? Then I jump in there and jump it,
Yes.
I'll drop that on.
Yeah.
But I had some guy say some pretty nasty stuff about me the other day, and I had some friends that are like, why don't you block them? I'm like, why? Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
I don't. Is it true? No. Okay. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He adds to my
Yeah.
algorithm. I love it. I don't
Thanks for
care.
bringing attention.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it attention. And sometimes the people will attack them, sometimes they won't. Sometimes the people just
Yeah.
ignore them. I just ignore it.
Right.
Whatever. Who cares? You
And
know?
that's getting back to the podcast format is something that I love about what you do, and it's been a goal of mine, and we'll see if I'm successful at it. Is like you said, to let the conversation flow. Um, Before I started, I watched so many podcasts, and I realized that the ones that I enjoy the most, and there's a reason Joe Rogan's at the top of the mountain, and that's because I've watched some of his crap for 2.5 hours, and afterwards I go, I didn't even give a damn about what they were talking about. It was just a good conversation, and so I
Yeah.
listened to it, right? And so when I started, I intentionally, I have no outline, no script. You and I didn't get on the phone prior to this and talk for 30 minutes about how we wanted to go
No.
about it. Let it happen. And that way you get a real conversation. You get those initial thoughts, the unscripted moments. And I think that's the beauty of the podcast is having that free form and just letting it go. Just and you're a genius at that. You do a very good job of it.
Listen,
I
it's
compliment you.
not that I'm a genius. It's just I've spent so many years on the back of a boat where you're waiting for 14 fucking hours for a bite. You don't want it to be quiet. You got to say something. So, where you from? How's your family doing? How your mama doing?
Right. That's
Ask
right.
questions. Be curious.
Yeah.
I want to know. Listen, after a while, everybody knows about me. I want to know about you. I want to know what you're bringing to the table. Tell me about your podcast. Why did you start it? How did you
Yeah.
get involved in the outdoors? I listen. I'm still enthralled with the fact you had a 94-year-old lady on. How cool is that?
Oh, wait until I drop that episode. You're gonna love it.
Oh,
Her name's Laura Berry, and she's killed him. I mean, she's a worldwide hunter. She's killed all kinds of cool stuff. She's 95, and at 93, she put away her 300 Weatherby Magnum and went to a 26 Nosler because it kicks less.
at
Okay.
93.
Hey, when's the last time you shot a 300 Weatherby Magnum, dude? She shot it till she was 93 and switched to a 26 Nosler.
That's
She
so
still sits in a
badass.
blind by herself. You know, she's fortunate to have people to help her. So
Yeah.
when she's sitting in a blind, the foreman, she can call the foreman. I shot something. I need some help or something.
Yeah.
But sits by herself, hunts, picks out her own animals, shoots them, does the whole deal. Fantastic. We did a 2-hour episode, but we talked for about 4 hours because she was so excited to talk about what she loves, and that's what we did, man. And I can't wait to roll it out.
Yeah. Now, do you edit anything at all, or you just talk straight out?
No, we do edit, but I try not to edit. I don't do hard edits
Okay.
at all. Um, Yeah, I tell you, to be honest with you, I told you I've done a whole lot of elderly people.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these little patches where a little dementia kicks in or somebody kind of gets distracted. I take that stuff out. I don't want to embarrass somebody, right?
Fair enough.
So I pull that stuff out to kind of help with the flow and whatnot. But I don't pull out the slip ups,
Yeah.
I just let it roll. I want it to be a conversation, you know.
Yeah, the only editing I do is the intro music and the extra. That's it.
Really?
That's all I
That,
do. I don't know.
yeah, that's fantastic.
I want it to be a normal conversation, and just let it roll. The other day, I actually
Oh,
had somebody on. Um, they got they lost power, but they're like, hey, just so you know, I don't know if you hear it, we're under a tornado watch, possibly a warning. And we were an hour and 45 minutes into it when I lost her. And I paused it. She goes, Fly, I don't know when the power's coming back on, and I'm kind of just hiding in the hallway with this storm. I said, I'll give you a couple of minutes, but if not, I'll put an ending to my own. So after a while,
right.
I jumped back in. I unpaused it. I said, guys, listen, this is what's happening. We're gonna go ahead and end it. Make sure you go to her website, check her out. Uh, she's a nonprofit, uh, builds these little mini boats that schools can put out there to see how the ocean currents carries these boats around the world.
Oh, wow,
Cool,
how fascinating.
cool conversation with her.
Huh.
And then she texts me, she goes, hey, power's back on. Can I come on and say goodbye? So I'm like, jump in. I'm like, guys, she just texted me. She's gonna jump back on. No editing, no nothing. She came in, I admitted her, she said her goodbyes, and off we went, man.
Good
I,
for you.
I don't want
I
to edit. Listen, we're not perfect. God did not make us perfect. We're
that's right.
imperfect. I want people to see that. I'm not
Yes,
perfect,
sir. That's
so
right.
throw it in there. We hook
That's what I
up.
think. That's the beauty of the podcast. It really is. It's like you have. That's where I came up with the Texas Campfire. I want it to feel like we're all sitting around a fire at the ranch or at the hunting lease, having a cocktail and bullshit. That's
Exactly.
that's my goal right there. And I always say, pull up a chair and join us. You want to feel like you're part of the conversations. Conversations aren't edited; they're real. They're spontaneous.
100%.
Yeah, that's what makes
100%.
it attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
want,
mean,
like you
I would
said,
hate.
being
I
around the
hate.
campfire or being on the dock, just a regular conversation.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's the same conversations that happen whether you're at the dock or at the ranch. It's all the same.
Listen, the only difference is what you're wearing. You're either board shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, or you got a
Right.
pair of, pants and boots and a long sleeve shirt. Same fucking thing.
That's it. That's exactly right. Now there is some of it is can get a little rough, and I can't quite go there, but
Well, that's what I tell everybody. I said, listen, don't be gross. And you understand what I mean by don't be gross. But I don't
yeah.
mind. First of all, I have a mouth like a sailor. And usually when I have somebody that's on the camera and they're nervous, by the second F bomb, they're right calm.
It's pretty diffusing.
Yeah, it's like,
That's,
oh, I can get away
yeah.
with that. Okay, cool. Um,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
and it probably messes up my numbers a little bit. All of them, I always put this is explicit. This is not made for under 18.
Right.
Maybe just saying a few F bombs is not a big deal, but I don't want to get a flat. I'd rather be on the safe side, and just let it grow. Just let it grow.
Yeah.
However it
Yeah,
goes.
that's
I'm not worried
bear with
about
me
it.
just a second. I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
yeah, go
No
ahead.
editing, okay?
No editing.
I got my wife just came home from the grocery store and my two labs want to get to her right now,
Go,
so I
go,
got to let
go,
them
go.
out.
There we go. See that there's no
Better.
editing. I just paused. I didn't know how long. Maybe you need to give her a honey. I'm glad to see you back. And whatever. Or hey, grab the groceries. I don't.
Well, they're my hunting dogs, but they sure love their mama and they wanted the hell out of here, so we got that
I
taken care of.
I get it. I get it. I remember when my girlfriend and I first started dating, she had a dog, and it didn't take long before the dog adopted me. And
Yeah.
I listen, I had never had a dog, so it was kind of cool. And then COVID hit, and I wasn't traveling, so me and the dog are just hanging out all day long while I'm working. And yeah,
Yeah.
we really bonded then, man.
Became friends.
Oh man, it was more than it was again, remember what I told you about if I had a daughter? It was a female dog. She knew all she had to do was ask me for anything. I want to go for a walk. Woo! 5 o'clock. She wanted to go for a walk. And it was funny
Yeah.
when we first started dating, she'd take the dog out for a walk at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, what is this 9 o'clock walk? No, take her for a walk at normal hours. 9 o'clock, I go to sleep. So I started taking her out for a walk
Right.
at 5, and it didn't matter daylight savings time or not. Whatever 5 she thought it was in her mind, and she wasn't a barker. She didn't bark except when she wanted to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Woo,
That's
woo.
great.
Oh my God, it was so cool. It was
They
so
can
cool.
tell time. I promise you.
Oh, they
Like,
definitely can tell time.
so my older son is the boat captain
Uh-huh.
when he travels, which he travels a lot. We don't do it so much anymore, but we used to always keep his dogs. And he's a he tries to get to the boat early in the morning and get his
Shit
washing,
done.
waxing, and stuff like that done before it gets hot down here in this Texas sun. And so his dogs are used to getting fed at like 5.
Oh,
And so he goes on a trip and leaves his damn dogs, and they're in there on the side of the bed, bumping you with their nose, ready for breakfast. And it's like, hey, dude, breakfast is at 8 around here, not 5.
we're not on your dad's
but
schedule, man.
but yeah, that's right.
We're not on
But
your
they do
dad.
have an internal clock.
Oh, they definitely know. Oh, and
Mhm.
me towards the end, she was one of those dogs that had a lot of anxiety. So living in South Florida with the thunderstorms, she'd freak out. Well, as she got older, it got worse and worse. So it got to the point where in our closet, we'd have a kennel and we'd have a cover on it. She would hide up in there and we put the thunder jacket on it and she was
Oh
good. But
yeah.
towards the end there, she wouldn't crawl in there alone. I'd have to crawl in with her. I'd take my laptop and she'd be lying down crackling lightning and I'm inside the in the closet in this kennel. Sometimes Naomi come home, hello, I'm home, and she'd walk in the room and here's the dog and me in the kennel. She goes, really? I go, you know I can't say no to her. I can't say no to her. What am I gonna do? She's nervous. Come sit.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, I am a sucker. That's why, listen, if I had a daughter, I'd be a mess. Dad, I want to go to the zoo, but it's raining. I don't care. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. What am I going to do? Say no?
No, not a
No.
chance.
Now, the boy, different. Clean your room. What? As a
That's
man, you
that's
got to
easy.
get your shit done first, and then you can enjoy.
Yep.
You got to earn it.
That's that's it, man. That's it. Golly.
Yeah.
Um,
They got to
yes.
learn,
So
man.
you said this thing's going to air what, late August?
It'll be when I'm done. I'll let you know. I'll jump on the calendar and let you know.
Yeah.
I,
Just
I'll,
just to be somewhat timely. With hunting season rolling around, and by the time people watch this, we're going to be on top of the hunting seasons.
that's why I wanted
You
you
know,
on here, man.
dude, here in Texas, dove season starts rolling about September 1st. In the north zone, a little bit later down here in the south zone. It's going to be a great dove season. We had can't remember how many years ago, but we had a real hard freeze and really knocked the doves back pretty hard. And we had a couple of pretty lean years of dove hunting, but we've had a great rainy year so far, and hopefully it continues. But recruitment looks really good. The dove hunting here in Texas will be really good this fall, and that's kind of when life shifts around here. Our last tournament locally, our last tournament is This year, I think it's August 22nd, which is the TWAT tournament, the Texas Women Anglers Tournament in Port
Oh, I'm
Aransas.
very familiar
And
with the twat term.
dude, let me tell you something. When the boat goes in the slip after TWAT, the shotguns come out and the dogs start getting exercised, and it's all hunting around here, buddy. I'm telling you, it's like a light switch. And which ironically, the best fishing here on the Texas coast is September, October. But
Wow.
everybody's sitting in a deer blind by then.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
ain't
it's
gonna
just
get anybody off their deer blind, man.
no, it's crazy. But yeah, it's going to be a really good hunting season. Like I say, the birds are looking good. The quail are going to be fantastic. I'm sure you have a bunch of listeners like you said like to come to Texas, but my gosh, we've got year-round exotic hunting. We got the nilgai up and down the King Ranch up and down the coast, and it's going to be a really good hunting season. I'm looking forward to it because it's been so hot and dry the last few years and miserable. And at my home right here, I had less than 2 inches over a 8 month period. And
Uh-huh.
I'm in an area that rains a lot. In the last 3 weeks, I've had 18 inches of rain. I
Wow.
mean, it's a swamp around here,
I
dude. I mean,
love it.
my yard looks like the Everglades. And so anyway, long story short, that just leads into our hunting seasons and all of our birds hatching and the fawning season, and everything's looking super, super good. So I'm excited about that because it's just been it's just been off for several years, and it's going to bounce back good now. The lakes are coming back up, so all the freshwater fishing's gonna get better, and really excited about it. And heck, maybe we can circle up again. We get closer to hunting season. We can talk about what's going on in the pasture. I'd love to do that.
You let me know, man. You have an open invitation anytime you want to jump on, man. I would
Well,
love
and
to. I would
and
love
and
to.
by and vice versa. We'll do it on mine someday just for the fun of it, because my deal's all about ranches and hunting and whatnot. But golly, the other day, I I sponsor some of the local fishing tournaments for my ranch brokerage business,
Okay.
and I've had so many people ask me, "What are you sponsoring fishing tournaments for, man? You're supposed to be sponsoring the Hunters Extravaganza." I'm like, "That's my guys on the boats over there, man. It's all the
Yeah.
same people." And I look at the dock there at Virginia's in Port Aransas, which is famous or infamous, however you choose to look at it. But you got the Doulis on the end. He owns a ranch in Webb County. And then you got the Coyote. Marty owns multiple ranches in multiple counties. And then you got the Walk West. Riley owns the livestock auction in Three Rivers, Texas. And you go down the dock, the I can't remember the name of the boat, but the Hunter family, they're big ranchers in South Texas. Their boat's on that dock. You go all the way down the dock, every single one of them owns a ranch. It's
Yeah.
the funniest damn thing. So our worlds aren't parallel; they're one and the same.
It's all in the same. It's the same. It's just there might be a little bit of a, a miss on some of the overlapping, but it's a huge overlap.
Oh
Huge.
yeah,
I
yeah. That's
when I ran a boat, the last boat I ran full time was the Sapo out in Kona, Hawaii. That belonged to
mhm.
one of the Brayman brothers who
Yeah,
has the ranch up in Refugio.
yeah. They're right down the road from me. Yeah,
Yeah, and then his other brother Joe has a ranch
hmm,
in Laredo.
yeah. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah, Dan still has the Kosa, and they're in Hawaii right now.
no,
That's
that's
where they
Joe's
are.
boat. That's Joe's boat.
Oh, is that Joe's? Okay, I got it
Yeah, that the
backwards then.
Cosa is Joe's boat, and then
Okay.
oh my God, the Bayless boat, and what the hell, the Paranda, that's Stan's boat.
Oh, that's right.
The
That's
Paranda.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe just signed up for the World Cup the other day, and his mate texts me. He goes, "I'm not sure if I signed up twice." And I picked up the phone, I called him. I said, "Listen, you did. I just need you to write me an email and I'll refund you the money right now." I says, "Are you out fishing right now?" He goes, "Yeah." I says, "Go upstairs and shake Oski's hand, give him a hug for me, and then go downstairs and give Joe a big wet kiss and tell him it's from me." And He texts me. He goes, I sent you the email. I go, did you give him a kiss? He goes, I tried to. He told me he was going to punch me out. I go, yeah, that's Joe.
Yeah, that's the right guy.
He goes, I go, did
Yeah.
you tell him it was for me? He says, you're a crazy son of a bitch. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. At the week after my very first episode, just like you, Dan sent me a private message and said, "Hey, I love your podcast. Call me up anytime. I got big ranch experience." And he's famous for running those dogs. They run those
oh,
cat dogs, and they've done some of the coolest stuff you've ever heard of with their dogs. And so anyway, he called me up or sent me a message and said, "Let's do a podcast." I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah. I can't think
yeah.
of anybody better." So
Joe's a good
hopefully we'll be
dude, man.
dropping one with him before long. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's a
Good
good
people.
dude. Listen, it's a great family. I work for their youngest brother, Thomas, who just unfortunately passed away very young.
Right. Right.
And I was also really good friends with Mary Gale. Mary Gale was one of those people. I met her at Merritt's Boatyard. Uh, Thomas had texted me, "Hey, my mom's in town. Could you keep an eye on her?" I'm like, "She's got plenty of handling." But I went up to her, "Hey, how are you?" And we started talking. She was there for Pop's old man Alan's 90th birthday. So we started talking. And ever since then, her and I were always very close, and I would always, give her a call from time and again. And when I put on my first ever tournament, which was the Golf Cup, the winner came out of Port Aransas. So I drove from New Orleans all the way to Port Aransas, and I stayed in Thomas's house, and I had breakfast with Mary Gale the very next morning.
Wow. How cool. Small
Yeah,
world, isn't it?
it's a small, tiny world. It's a
I
small,
love
tiny
it.
world.
It is. And that's the other fun thing about this hunting and fishing sport is I can travel just about anywhere and find a boat to jump on or a place to go hunting. Not necessarily for free. I don't mean that,
No,
but
no, no. I know what
you
you
know,
mean.
when you go to a port somewhere you've never been, you don't know how to fish there, you don't know where to go. You want to be with somebody that knows, and
Exactly.
you can always find someone always a friend of a friend, right?
Exactly.
It's the coolest thing.
I
Yeah, and
recently I was talking to a friend of mine. We grew up elementary school, and I saw he was posting pictures from the Elks Lodge. I'm like, "You're a member of the Elks Lodge?" He goes, "Yeah, I travel for work, and it's kind of nice if I'm in Cleveland or if I'm Michigan or somewhere. I can go to Elks Lodge, and you kind of feel at home. Everybody's like, 'Oh, you're a member from Florida? Great, come on in, let's have a beer.'" I says,
right.
"Oh, I kind of have the same thing." He goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, I just go to a marina, and there's somebody that I know.
Yeah,
Any marina,
yeah,
just go
that's
to a
right.
marina. Hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, you can
Find some
find
boats, find a bar. You're good."
anywhere you go. That's it. I love it. There's nothing finer, man. And it's a friend of mine bought his first offshore boat. He's sitting over in Florida, and he calls me up and he goes, "Dude, I don't know what to do. I got a captain, but he runs a luxury boat. He's not a sport fishing captain. He's just in this case, a boat driver.
Yeah.
And I need some help." Well, I call my son Corbin, that's the captain, and he calls somebody over in Florida, and he sends me a number of a mate somewhere, and I hook them up and they go fishing. And this client of mine calls me back and goes, "Dude, that is the greatest guy. He did a great job. And we caught 8 sailfish and a blue marlin, and we didn't even know what the hell we're doing." And it's like, I don't know of any other sport where you can this that way. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
just so cool. I
And
love
it
it.
doesn't matter how old you are either. I mean, I started professionally at 18. Here I am 53. Uh, and I'm just not doing it full time. My body can't handle it. But you can
Yeah.
still do it. Now I spend more time dealing with boat owners. Uh, a lot of them, it's just we grew up together. And
Right.
they were 20 when I was 20, or maybe they were 25 and I was 20, and now they took over their father's business, and we're just still friends. We've been friends for 20 or 30 years now, you know?
Right, right. Oh,
Absolutely
that is
love it.
so.
No. Um,
Yeah.
and you know what? You've mentioned the name. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you or how they can find your podcast.
That would be fantastic. The name of the podcast is the Texas Campfire.
Okay.
It's obviously on YouTube. I have it on Spotify, Apple Podcast apps. I've got it, I guess, virtually anywhere it can go. Of course, I'm across social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Uh, and we just talk ranches. We talk hunting and ranch management and just anything related. Today we're talking about fishing, but it's all the same stuff. So I'd love to have you jump over and join me. When you park the boat for the winter, or if you're so
All,
inclined to do so,
all
we'll
you have to
come
do is
on
give
over
me a
here.
time, man. I know exactly. I've taken that flight into Corpus Christi plenty of times, man.
Yeah, come on down, come see us, buddy, and we'll do something fun. But thanks to your listeners for being here today, and I hope they enjoyed the conversation. I certainly did. I've learned a lot from you, Fly, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And
Same
and I
here.
got to drop a little note. Look out for my son Corbin Plumley. He runs the Instigator out of Port Aransas. He fishes the World Cup every single year. He's a damn good kid and a damn good fisherman. So if you see him, give him a hug for me.
I
He
will,
was
and maybe, and I'm putting this out to anybody that's fishing the World Cup. Listen, I'm just happy to see a winner, but
that's
on
right.
on our 250th birthday, it would be cool if it was on the mainland. I'm just
I'm telling
saying.
you, that's what we need,
I'm just
baby.
saying. Next time you talk to your son, put a little pressure on him. Bring it home.
Oh, all right, I'll lean on him. He's had a slow summer so far, so he's due. He's coming due right about the right time.
That's what I like to hear. Mark, hold on one second. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Go check out Mark's podcast. Go ask him a question. I'm sure he'll listen to anything, even if it's just asking how to shoot a proper dove during dove season. So check him out. Thank you
Bring
so
it on.
much. And everybody, we will check you later.